just got wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. That's right, it is hump day and looking like a little bit of a hump day in the charts right here. We don't really know what we're trying to do. Bitcoin is still sort of range bound. We're just bouncing around in the same area. Okay, we do have some altcoins that are looking quite well. We'll get into that in just a second. We do unfortunately have some more bad news today. Okay, Bancor network is now closing that off as well to US citizens. We're going to talk about that a little bit more on this Facebook Libra stuff. It's getting some pretty big backlash. In fact, Russia is looking to finally put out their framework around digital assets and ICOs within the next 2 weeks. And yeah, Facebook's Libra is not included. So we're going to talk about that. How is that going to affect the markets? What can we expect moving forward? All that and more. And you know what to do, guys. If that sounds good to you, well, also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't got subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Now, let me give this a quick refresh live. 56.7, 56.8. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance is going up a little bit. We're still around the $285 billion market cap. Bitcoin sitting around $9,131. If we look at the big gainers today, Insight Chain all over the place. But, I mean, guys, this volume is nuts. 5,000... Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't touch that personally. We have Ardor, Agrisha. Wow, Agrisha, man. I can't believe that. That is just an insane token, man. I mean, and that's like all community driven. So shout out to that. Zcoin, Odom, Hypercash, Digibyte, Ravencoin, Wax, Kucoin shares, Huobi token, all doing well today. Also, just a friendly reminder that our friends over at Tether have been pretty much consistently printing tethers for the past month. So what usually happens when tethers get printed? Well, they usually buy Bitcoin with it. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I just want to keep you aware of the situation moving forward. Now, currently, we do still find that Bitcoin is in this ascending, broadening wedge. We are sitting well above this red zone, which is where we would have to go down if we were to basically close the gap for the CME futures. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch any of the videos we've had on here. You know, this is just a reoccurring thing. But yeah, gaps tend to get closed. The one thing that I do want to point out, however, is if we look over here, we are still just dancing above this, what is this? This is like a $9,059 mark. So this is really what we're trying to, what we do have our eyes on right now. Now we need to stay above this to maintain in bullish territory. And obviously these are the gaps, the CME futures gaps. We have the one down here, which would bring us down to $7,200. And we have this one around $8,500. And I've drawn this out in this box. So if we do happen to fall down here a little bit lower, we may actually be supported. Or if we do fall lower, I believe that will be supported by this if you look at it, it's really like a gigantic rising wedge almost, and I think we will be supported by this yellow uptrend personally, but we'll have to keep our eyes on that moving forward. The one thing I do want to point out is on the super low time frame, being the 1 hour, you do notice that it does look like we're forming a little bit of a pennant here. It does look like we want to break out, and you know, considering that the trend is your friend until the end, and we have been pretty much going upwards nonstop, well, one can only assume that this would be a breakout to the upside. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a massive move like we've seen in the past. This could just be a very small 3%, 4% type breakout, but we are keeping our eyes on that. But just be realistic that it does have a potential chance to break to the downside, where I do still believe will probably most likely be supported by this $8,570 level roughly. And I do think that would be the closing of the gap that we had just previously, which is bullish. It is bullish, but I still do think a healthy retracement would be, you know, in the cards. However, we could still break to the upside another 3-4%, you know, before having a little bit of a pullback. So that's basically what I'm looking at. And yeah, the one thing I wanted to talk about though is we were talking about Tom Lee, and I know a lot of people have very mixed opinions on him, but he has been talking about this FOMO trigger, right? And he says the FOMO trigger, and I actually kind of believe that the $10,000 level also is pretty significant, but he says that that's going to be the FOMO trigger. So once we hit that $10,000 psychological level, people realize that Bitcoin is 50% down from its all-time high. He thinks that it's going to draw in a lot of attention. And then from that point, going up to 20K and 40K, is probably going to be as easy as it was running from 10 to 20 back in 2017, right? Now, if we hop over here and we have a look at the charts, this is basically the level that we're trying to get above, the $10,000 psychological level. You can see over here, we have a little bit more to go, right, currently. Now, what is so significant about this? Well, I do want to point out the thing that I've been saying for quite some time. When we initially tried to break above it back here in November 29th and November 30th of 2017, we had two Darth Maul candles. The reason that they call them that is because they have wicks on both ends, and it's kind of like his, is like his double lightsaber, So anyway, obviously a lot of liquidations that day, right? But the thing I want to point out is when we did finally break above that, okay? And let's see exactly how long it took. So you could see it was December 1st that we actually finally broke above it and stayed above it. And from that point right here, it only took, it only took 16 days, guys. 16 days for us to get up to 20K. You could see 100%. Obviously, that's 100% gains, right? Because if you were to go from 10 to 20, you have a 100% gain. So that would be 100%, which actually, to put this into perspective, compared to what we've already done, is about half, because from the low to where we are currently, or from the low to the high, I should say, Bitcoin went up 206%. So it's actually more difficult for Bitcoin to go from where it's been to where we are than for us to simply go from 10K to 20K. That's actually easier to do, okay? So I just wanted to point that out. And it only took 16 days, guys. So, if we do potentially break above it with all of these, different custodial solutions, institutional investors, definitely a different ball game this time around. And I would definitely say that, in a matter of 2 weeks, it could be that easy to see a 20K Bitcoin, even a 40K Bitcoin, if we were to get that massive FOMO that we had before, right? So that's basically what's going on with Bitcoin. Also, someone asked me, actually a couple people asked me about Litecoin. Not much happening on the Litecoin chart. We're still just sort of hanging around in the same region. It's doing something very similar to Bitcoin right now. However, Litecoin is in its own gigantic, like a megaphone ascending, broadening wedge. So this is a very bullish thing. However, it may try to retrace somewhere back into this, this middle support right here. So you might see Litecoin retrace maybe down to like $124, $133. Nothing really too major, guys. If we do go to the bottom of the channel, then, maybe down to $100 or something like that. But currently, it looks, even if we put this in here, right? You could even see that we've put in, even more of a parabolic trend, right here. So actually, if we look at it from this perspective, you may have a very large breakout around June 26th or 27th. For Litecoin. So that was just because some people were asking, right? But speaking about the altcoins, I want to talk about them for a second because I don't know if you guys saw Altcoin Daily. He actually put a video out saying that he sold all of his he sold most of his altcoins, right? which is odd because I think we're actually entering a potential altcoin season coming up relatively soon, depending on what Bitcoin does. But that is, neither here or there. But I do want to point out the fact that if we notice the all-time high percentage, or at least what the tokens and coins are down, Bitcoin is actually down 55% from its all-time high, where a lot of these other altcoins are still down massive percentages. Just zooming in over here, you could see, obviously, Ethereum's down 81%, XRP 89, most of these 63, 90, 70, the 2% is Binance, 87%, 9%, this is Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin SV is whatever. 93%, 89, 80, 90, 87, 92, 12%, which one is this? Chainlink's been having a massive run up recently, but you could see a lot of these altcoins have a very, very long way to go. And Josh Rager, he actually was talking about Ethereum. He said today Bitcoin is down only around 53%. Obviously, he must have put this out at a different time, but Ethereum is down around 83% from the all-time high and could likely go lower as the ETH BTC doesn't look great. For ETH to catch up to where Bitcoin is, Ethereum would essentially have to go to $750. So think about that. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, does this mean that you're not bullish on altcoins? And he said no. He said that, this is just something that people need to be aware of. And that's what I like to always explain on this channel as well. You have to look at what your end goal is. Is your end goal to have more Bitcoin? Because if it is, then you need to look at the Bitcoin comparative, right? And if Bitcoin is outpacing your coin or your token, then you would have just simply been better holding Bitcoin. And I know that Bitcoin is boring. It doesn't necessarily give the biggest gains, okay? But you have to also realize that this is not just about wealth, generation, right? It's also about wealth preservation. So, holding Bitcoin, you'd only be down 55% from the all-time high. Some of these are even down up to 98%. What is this one? 98% for Dent. So yeah, there you go. I mean, that's basically what's happening in the altcoins right now. But I do have some bad news, and I wanted to start it off because I thought it was important, and then we'll talk about Facebook and all that other stuff, okay? But beginning July 8th, U.S. citizens will no longer be able to use Bancor's web application, Bancor Network, to convert tokens. Users can still access, hold, and transfer tokens. Now, if we go over to the official statement, I want to explain to you why this isn't anything to super freak out about. But it does suck, okay? So basically, they say that you won't be able to use their web application, but they say we would like to clarify that this functionality will be blocked to users accessing the website bancor.network, which offers an interface to blockchain activity. And here's the most important part. As the Bancor Liquidity Network is a collection of smart contracts on the blockchain and a non-custodial system, we cannot restrict users from accessing the blockchain itself. This cannot be blocked. This is the beauty of the blockchain. This is the beauty of decentralization. This is why Bitcoin is truly censorship resistant, because you can't turn it off. You can't shut it down. You can't block access to a blockchain, okay? So you can see right here, converting tokens using Bancor's web application will no longer be available for users, and here's the catch, with IP addresses from the United States. So just use a VPN, guys. It's basically that simple, okay? And that's the same situation that's also going on with the Binance DEX as well. Before we move on, I wanted to drop this real quick. Some people really don't understand the different levels of centralization versus decentralization. You can see right here, totally centralized would be something like Coinbase, Binance, Shapeshift, Kraken. Then you have non-custodial, permissionless, off-chain, on-chain. And they're claiming that actually to this day, nothing is truly decentralized, okay? But basically, you can access all of these that are not centralized by using a VPN, okay? It's just the website that picks up the geolocation and blocks you. If you guys want me to do a video on this, let me know. Actually, smash the likes if you want me to do a video on it, because there's always a lot of comments about like ledgers and stuff. So that'll definitely let me know that you guys are interested. But like, I'll show you how to use Binance DEX. I've already done a video on iDEX if you want. I could drop that above a while ago. But let me know, and I help you guys out if you're new and you're a U.S. citizen and you're like worried and afraid of how you're going to be able to navigate this space. Let me know, and I'll try to put out some videos to help you guys out. Okay. So now moving on to what we are all excited for and why we all came out here today to talk about Facebook's Libra coin. Right, guys? Right? Okay, anyway, so Barry Silbert put this out. You may know him. He is the founder of the digital currency group. He says the launch of Facebook's cryptocurrency will go down in history as the catalyst that propelled digital assets, including Bitcoin, to mass global consumer adoption. Will be remembered as just as important and transformative as the launch of the Netscape browser. Buckle up. This is an interesting one. Well, let's dive in and let's have a look at this. So it turns out that Binance Research actually looked into this, and without going into the whole report, this is a nice summary over from Being in Crypto, and basically this is what they came up with, okay? And stick with me because we're going to talk about it. There's already some backlash, and interesting that Russia is already looking to basically not get involved with this. So they say in the long term we could see some seismic changes, a complete reworking of the global payment system. Banks will likely feel threatened by alternative payment facilitators like Libra. They say we could see Libra open the floodgates to new decentralized applications, or from major conglomerates looking to release their own cryptocurrencies. We probably, are going to see these FANG stocks also trying to get in on it. Money will move as quickly as information. Well, that's good. And a disruption of the dollar as the global currency of the world. So if cryptocurrency is actually successful, if their cryptocurrency is successful, then we could see a reduction in our reliance on the dollar for global commerce. New units of account for trade could very well come into existence. But as you can see, the people who are probably at, in most danger would probably be the banks. Not so much Bitcoin, really, with what these guys are doing. And you could see that, where Bitcoin was designed to remove the gatekeepers from the financial world, Libra just makes Facebook and its association the only gatekeepers of the matter. Their collective power makes them the only ones who can mint new Libra tokens or burn existing ones. So with a 2/3 majority, now this is just in theory, of the association members voting on it, they could even theoretically lock people out of their Libra wallets or block transactions from taking place entirely. And they're already getting some pushback right here from House Financial Services chairwoman Maxine Waters. Now, yesterday, she called on Facebook executives to testify before her committee and urged the social media giant to hold off on plans to develop their new digital currency. So she said that Facebook was continuing its unchecked expansion and extending its reach into the lives of its users with the announcement of their cryptocurrency. So she said it has repeatedly shown a disregard for protection and careful use of Facebook's users' data. Obviously, we know with Cambridge Analytica, everything else that's happened. So given the company's troubled past, I am requesting that Facebook agree to a moratorium of any movement forward on developing a cryptocurrency until Congress and regulators have the opportunity to examine these issues and take action. But I'll tell you what, where they were just taking their sweet old time before, we had Bitcoin, we have these exchanges. Now, these U.S. regulators, they're going to have to make a decision. They're not going to be able to just, take a, wait and see approach, as we call it. They're going to have to figure out what they're doing, and they're going to have to figure it out fast. And if we come over here, you can see that other lawmakers also expressed scathing critique of Facebook's recent foray into crypto. Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown, for instance, branded the project as risky, saying we cannot allow Facebook to run a risky new cryptocurrency out of a Swiss bank account without oversight. Now, speaking of how other people are perceiving it, this is actually good news. You can see the Russia State Duma is ready to adopt their long-awaited legislation on digital assets within the next few weeks. So you have Minister Alexei Masiv, I might have said that name wrong, sorry guys, in a recent interview said, we discussed the bill and agreed on the final version of the text during a meeting last week. Fundamentally, everything is settled now. We are making the final revisions and hopefully we'll be ready to adopt it in the second reading within 2 weeks. So they're also going to look to regulate ICOs as well. They are going to look at this as, becoming a valid version of crowdfunding, right? An acceptable way of crowdfunding. Now, you also have Natalie Aksakov, a chairman of the Financial Market Committee of the lower chamber of the parliament, said that the legislators had to delay the adoption. Now, this was once again because of the Financial Action Task Force. This is the exact reason why we're seeing Binance doing what they're doing. These are the guys that are really throwing a wrench in the gears, making a lot of havoc, right? But they say that the law was confirmed to be passed by the end of this month, but it says that Russia will not be legalizing Libra. However, Russian citizens will be able to purchase it on a foreign cryptocurrency trading platform. But how do you say this name? Aksakov said, in my opinion, Facebook coin won't be legally adopted as means of payment on the territory of Russia. So Russia's cool with digital currencies. They're going to regulate it. They're cool with it. Well, we hope they're going to be cool with ICOs. They're going to have a regulation, around that. But they're not cool with Facebook. So let me know what you guys think about that. And the one thing that I want to just end this with is, if we do have a global recession and it does hit and we have a crazy financial crisis, well, let's not forget that Libra is pegged to fiat currencies in a basket, and all of those currencies are going to take a hit, which means that if we have a global financial crisis, then we're going to have an issue with Libra as well. Libra will be directly affected, whereas Bitcoin will not. Bitcoin is not connected to any of the traditional financial aspects of anything. Bitcoin is the honey badger. It's its own thing. It doesn't care what this fiat does, what that fiat does, right? We have the halving event that's coming up. We have the miners. We've seen hash rate going up. I mean, guys, it's an amazing store of value. We've talked about this multiple times on the channel. So that is basically the situation. Again, hopefully that's enough with this Facebook talk. I'm getting tired of it, but when these things come out, we have to talk about it because it affects all of us, and I think it's really important. But let's talk about some other coin news, some fun news today, right? So we have Litecoin Foundation announcing a new debit card. The soon-to-be-released special edition card will enable users to spend cryptocurrency either online or in physical store location. And what's interesting is, we remember that Litecoin they were trying to have a card before. Remember that didn't work out, and they never ended up going through with it. Well, this is actually a collaboration between Buybox Token and Turnio, and you'll also be able to use those on the card as well. So I'm sure a lot of people are excited about that. We also have Icon partnering with Infinity Stones.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
No, not that Infinity Stones, guys. These Infinity Stones, okay? So basically, They're doing this for strategic consulting with blockchain infrastructure company Infinity Stones. Also, we have Fusion Foundation revealed that 7 projects have obtained their recently announced technologies license. They say eager to begin leveraging Fusion's interoperability protocol and unique financial features. We have Phantom, okay, Linux, not that Linux, Linux, Envelop, Ferrum Network, which is actually a project that just recently came on my radar. I've been meaning to look into it. Mark.space, sort of like that virtual Ready Player One, XDLT, and Kernel have all subscribed to Fusion's token-based licensing model. We've also talked about Fusion on this channel. You could just Google it. I've spoken about it before. We've done a video on it. Also, here's an interesting thing. And this is the first time that I've ever seen something like this. So Binance coin, BNB, is going to be listed on Kucoin. So this is the first time that I've seen one exchange token being listed on another exchange. So this is a first of its kind, pretty interesting moving forward. Also, if you guys didn't see Charles Hoskinson with his nicely shaved head, he recently did a surprise AMA. I'll drop that below for all of my Cardano fans. Yeah, and Sparkster, about that. This may potentially go down in history as the worst performing ICO of all time. Let's see if it's up a little bit. It's up a little bit, guys. So that's good, right? Yeah, not much to say about this. You can see right here, if you just go over to Twitter and you just type in, $SPRK. I mean, the story basically writes itself here. You guys can have a look. A lot of stuff going on. But yeah, on top of the fact that it turned out to be a really terrible ICO that didn't return basically is down like 99%. They're also having an issue with listing it because there's something wrong with the smart contract. So now it's getting delisted on all of the exchanges that it's on anyway. Yeah, so you guys want 0.1x? Let's give it to them. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry about this. But listen, this is why you have to be careful with these ICOs, man. I mean, investing in any of these projects is inherently risky. And I do always recommend doing your own research and definitely never listen to anything that anybody says. Even me, what do I know, guys? I'm just a crazy dude on the internet talking about crypto. Don't take any financial advice from me or anybody else. It's your money. Always be safe with it. And yeah, I mean, this is a really unfortunate thing. Let me know if you were affected by this below, and what actions that, I heard people are taking some action against it. So, let me know how that is below. Also, speaking of, why am I still talking about this? But new research affirms that Craig Wright isn't Satoshi Nakamoto. Do we really need any more proof? But this time, basically, they're basing it off of location data, saying that where he claimed to be during those time periods was not where the IP addresses that Satoshi had was lining up. You could check this out at Seeking Satoshi. I'll drop this. He had a whole tweet storm for you guys. So if you want, I will drop that below. And finally, let's end on something kind of positive and fun. This also actually relates to Russia as well. So basically, you have Vladimir Kuznetsov. I've butchered every Russian name today. I'm so sorry, guys. He's a candidate for governor of St. Petersburg, Russia, and he's offering GUBER tokens for a signature in support of his nomination and votes in the upcoming elections. So the interesting thing is that these GUBER tokens have no value whatsoever. He says they're just a souvenir of cryptocurrency issued specifically for this electorate, right? He claims that the tokens can be obtained only from him. However, they are listed and available for purchase on the Waves DEX platform. So what's the point in this? Why give people a token that has zero value? Well, he says the primary purpose of the GUBER tokens is to bring St. Petersburg citizens closer to the new reality. He says that the GUBERs are educational tokens. They will help to get to know the new type of money and help people to learn how to basically send these transactions to each other. So you understand what I'm saying? He's basically just giving free tokens and letting people send them back and forth, right, all over the place. And then they're learning how to, move cryptocurrencies without fear of, oh no, I didn't check my string of addresses and I lost my money, right? So I think that's pretty cool moving forward. And, getting back to this Joseph Stiglitz thing, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll basically play the clip for you really quick. Where is it where he says it? Here we go. Now, hold on. He's talking about the US dollar right now. 1 second.
Currencies do not have those attributes. I actually think we should shut down the cryptocurrencies.
So he says he thinks that we should shut down the cryptocurrencies, to which Pompliano replies, Bitcoin is more transparent than US dollars, and US dollars enables more illegal activity than Bitcoin. Maybe we should shut down US dollars? All right, guys, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found any value out of it, definitely let me know. Also, friendly reminder, we do the Ledger Nano giveaway every single Monday. All you have to do is drop a comment on any video throughout the entire course of the week, and that makes you eligible. Also, I do want to give you guys a massive shout out and thank you to everyone that's been using my referral link, signing up for Bybit exchange. If you haven't tried Bybit, obviously be safe out there, but we've been making a lot of money with these longs lately, so definitely check that out. Also, yeah, that's really it, guys. Not too much else to say. No point in rambling. You guys know the drill. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the reason that I do this every single day. Also, if you haven't checked out the Crypto Zombie Telegram channel, it's a free group. We just hang out. We talk crypto all day. Sometimes it can get a little rowdy in there, but I'm not as hard as some of these other guys. You know, a lot of other Telegram groups, they're like, very controlling over what we talk about. I don't care. If you guys want to shill in my Telegram, it's fine, but just back it up with some research, okay? Just as long as we're doing research and we're backing up our claims, then all talk is fair in the Crypto Zombies Telegram chat. That's enough for me. I've been rambling. That's it.